kills me, it's Drake. And do you think that for one moment, here today, days after the event, he's killed by two masked men, right? Do you think in that time span that they went and they addressed him, they talked to him? No. Do you think sitting here today, years later, any detective has ever asked, Drake or anybody like that? No. They never did that.
What's good, RIZZLE fam? The guys who took out X are facing their trials, and things are looking interesting, to say the least. Believe it or not, the lawyer representing one of the defendants came out claiming that Drake could be behind the hit. We got some crazy news coming in, and it's related to the incident that happened back in 2018 in which XXXtentacion was gunned down. The guys who are responsible are facing the consequences. It seems like their lawyers are pretty desperate. See, they actually used the good old conspiracy theory that's been around for ages as their defense in front of the judge. Yase Dwayne Onfroy, aka XXXtentacion, was shot dead back in 2018 when he was just 20 years old. The three men that are accused of X's murder are Michael Boatwright, the alleged shooter, Trayvon Newsom, the other gunman, and Dedrick Williams, who drove the getaway car. The shooting happened as X and his uncle were leaving a motor store in Deerfield, Massachusetts. The three guys had previously spotted X and his uncle as they were looking at motorbikes and realized that these people might have a lot of cash with them. The group of the three pulled up in front of X's car and threatened both X and his uncle with guns. They demanded cash and X resisted, giving them the duffel bag. However, they somehow snatched it, and as they were leaving, one of the guys started busting shots. The bullet wounds were just too severe for X. XXXtentacion was one of the most influential hip-hop artists to have entered the rap game despite his very young age. With all of his music and tragic life story, X touched the hearts of many, and his legacy continues to live on to this very day. However, since he died so early, and since he was an eccentric personality, all kinds of stories surrounded him, and especially his death. Conspiracy theories started forming early on about why he may have suffered the fatal consequences. There are so many coincidences happening all at the same time that his fans started wondering if there was something more than just a robbery gone wrong. One of the things that got kicked around on all the online theories was the fact that X mentioned death and dying just one day before he actually passed. He said if he died tomorrow, he'd just like to know that at least he changed someone's life for the better. On his social media, he uploaded a video in which he said,
"Worst thing comes to worst, I f***ing die a tragic death or some shit, and I'm not able to see out my dreams. I at least want to know that the kids perceived my message and were able to make something of themselves and able to take my message and use it and turn it into something positive and to at least have a good life. I at least, if I'm gonna die or ever be a sacrifice, I want to make sure that my life made at least 5 million kids happy."
And of course, after his death had occurred just one day later, the comments started flooding in on the internet with just hints at the fact that this may have been a setup. One comment said it was as if he knew he was going to die soon. But this is not the only source of information that people relied on as they were making theories and speculations on X's tragic death. There was yet another hint that also came from none other than XXX himself, and it came a bit earlier than this video. He tweeted something that a lot of people found interesting, even before his death, but after his death, it just got a completely different meaning. X said that if anyone would ever try to take his life away, that person would be none other than Drake. The exact tweet that posted went on like this. And of course, after X died, people started going through some of the things that he said in the past, started forming all kinds of conjectures about the real reason X died. It was Drake who wanted him gone, it would seem. Now, even though Drake had absolutely nothing to do with the hit, a lot of people online thought that he was indeed involved. Countless comments can be found online that say Drake was the one behind the hit. One person wrote, "XXX said if I died, Drake did it," and that Drake been subbing about it for the last 4 years. And more recently, tweets about it started emerging yet again. Another person said, "Drake been bragging about getting XXX knocked off in his songs for years, and literally no one even said anything about it." Even though there's not a single piece of evidence that would connect Drake to the murder of XXX, you gotta wonder, what exactly did X use Drake's name in this kind of context for? Surely there's gotta be something behind it, right? And that's right, there's a reason why X mentioned Drake, not only in his tweet, but some of the music as well. The story of Drake and X goes pretty deep, but we'll keep it short and precise. See, XXX admired Drake and considered him to be a musical genius. However, Drake disrespected X and everything that he stands for, because he stole his flow for one of his own tracks. Drake stole X's flow from "Look at Me" and used it for his own song KMT. Even though Drake reached out to X first, the meeting never took place and it was clearly a backstabbing move. X spoke about it during one of his interviews and he said,
Take his verse, like they did a mashup. They put his verse on my song and the cadence is literally just at the same tempo.
Being aggressive and impulsive, X didn't stop there. He took it way too far, and he started dissing Drake in all kinds of ways. At one point, he even called out his mom and talked poorly about her, saying,
"Hey, tell Drake mom, I want some tapioca pudding." Tell Drake mom I like my pudding tapioca. And I like my kneecaps like sandbags. Yo, hey, y'all like pudding? I like pudding, bitch. I like my when they like pudding.
Clearly, there was bad blood between X and Drake. You could definitely say that it was Drake's fault. He made a big mistake by producing the track with the same cadence as that of XXXtentacion. But is a petty beef between two rappers enough for you to put a price tag on someone's head? Some people just think that might be the case. In fact, believe it or not, the attorney who's defending the three guys accused of X's murder thinks that way as well. We happened to come across the video for the trial in which we could clearly hear the defendant's arguments as to why his client is innocent. He too referred to the tweet that X posted.
It's Drake. And do you think that for one moment, here today, days after the event, he's killed by two masked men, right? Do you think in that time span that they went and they addressed him, they talked to him? No. Do you think sitting here today, years later, any detective has ever asked, Drake or anybody like that? No. They never did that. She's going to sit there, and she's going to tell you that the reason that she wanted security with Mr. Onfroy on the day that he was shot was because of the issues that he had with Drake and Migos. She's going to tell you that.
Now, what the attorney was trying to do here is somehow involve Drake in the trial because nobody contacted him to clear out his name. Since that didn't happen, it makes Drake look suspicious and a possible solution to the question of who was behind the hit that ended X's life. Clearly, this is a desperate move from the legal team of the accused killer. It's nothing but a poorly thought out defense, and the guys involved are in a lot of trouble. Some think that the guys responsible might even get punished with a death sentence. Defense attorney blaming XXX's murder on Drake the first day of trial. Laugh my ass off. Them boys finna get the needle. It doesn't happen often, but some of the conspiracies about rappers do end up going way further than they should have. This is a prime example. We don't know what's gonna happen with these guys who are accused, but they sure as hell won't get off the hook because they tried blaming Drake as the one who really behind the hit. But what are y'all thoughts on this situation that we saw unravel in front of the court the other day? You think Drake could actually have something to do with X's death, or is it just a silly conspiracy theory? If so, how exactly is Drake responsible? Let us know what you think about it and leave that comment down below. If you like this video, make sure to hit that like button, click that subscribe to our channel as well. Tell a friend or two. Stay tuned for more interesting content from the hip-hop world. And as always, remember to keep it RIZZLE.